Howdy, folks, to the first Pubcast of 2024. Welcome.
How is?
Uh, as always, I'm Wayne.
I'm Kim.
And I'm Jill.
And I'm
And
adjusting my camera.
my very good. My username is in tribute to the fact that Christmas stops when Wayne says it does, and
Well,
for no other reason.
yes. So there is a tradition in the Talbot household that because my birthday is like literally 2 weeks after Christmas, or just shy of 2 weeks after Christmas, um, we keep up our second tree in our kitchen. Right?
Second tree.
So we've got a tree in the kitchen and a tree in the sitting room. The tree in the sitting room is fucking huge. Literally Clark Griswold hanging, little bit of sap, you're muted, Kim.
Climbing around it to get into your room, Wayne.
Yeah, 100%. Like it's massive. So, and then the one in the kitchen is very much it's an artificial tree. But they're both artificial trees, by the way. But the one in the kitchen is a kind of a lesser, smaller tree, but still very nice. And on that one goes all the decorations that Amelia's made. That we have fun decorations, like all my Star Wars decorations go
nerdy
on that.
ones.
Nerdy ones, right? But there's still nerdy ones on the other tree as well. We have our TARDIS or
the
TARDIS
sitting room is more aesthetic.
It's elevated.
It's your Pinterest tree.
So this one is like the tree with all the stupid shit, and the one inside is the one that you put on a Coca-Cola ad type shit,
Right.
And that's very much Irene's tree, and this is essentially my tree. But this year, for whatever reason, we decided to bring normality back a bit quicker. The Christmas tree in the kitchen is not up, right? It's gone. But we still have the snow globes. So the snow globes are still here.
So you still have a sprinkling of Christmas.
There's still a sprinkling of Christmas. There's still lights on the windows over there. And we have Irene has these icicle lights that we hang in our hallway. They're still up. So we haven't fully de-Christmasized the house. But we're getting there.
Yeah.
We're getting there. We'll get there this weekend after my birthday. So yeah. Did you have a Christmas?
I had a Christmas. I had a COVID Christmas.
Oh,
but it was
Christmas.
I felt rotten for a week, but it was grand because we got to kind of hunker down and
isolate
isolate and play games. Like we've been playing kind of fun games on the Xbox. We've been lashing through DC Lego Villains, which has been great crack, and unlocking all the characters. And I got Stray for Christmas.
You got what? Sorry,
the Stray, the computer.
Oh, Stray, yeah, Stray is great. Amelia loves that game.
Yeah, it's got rave reviews from so many people, and I liked the look of it. And Liam had played it, and he got me a copy for Christmas. So I must have played that for about 2 or 3 hours Christmas Day while in my new Oodie, being all like, but yeah, just ate loads and stayed away from people for a good week, and then I didn't I got to see family beforehand, which was good. Got to see Kimbo IRL beforehand, and then I was worrying. I was like, fuck, did I give it to anybody? But thankfully I didn't. I'm not entirely sure where I got it.
Thankfully, don't worry, Jill, I wasn't jealous. One of my children had bronchitis pre-Christmas, and the other one had some weird dry cough for 6 weeks thing post-Christmas. So no visiting my elderly neighbors, which I love to do. Genuinely, unironically love to do. I love to sit and chat shit with people who used to be able to give every visitor about 8 half ones when they came over, and then they just drive home,
Yeah.
Have the Christmas cake. This house where I live, the last people who lived here were great uncles of mine. And they're great uncles of my dad's. And this was the house we were brought to when we were being got out of the house Christmas Eve, so that things could be taken out of the neighbors' sheds, etc. So we were got out of the house and brought to this farmhouse with 2 bachelor uncles who, whatever they had in the house was whatever they won at cards. So we're talking whiskey, Christmas cake, pudding. They won the turkey, they won the ham. Everything they needed for Christmas, they won at cards in Mulla. And Mulla is a real place, folks. It's real. It is that quote from The Good Place. That's a spirit down there. Mulla is real to me too. Anyway, so we were like, kids don't like Christmas cake or Christmas pudding or mince pies or anything like that. But we did like the fact that they gave us 7-Up in shot glasses and about 15 of them. That was pretty good. But yeah, I get totes of mosh every Christmas being here legitimately myself. And I keep it real ICA for anyone who doesn't know. That's the Irish Country Women's Association. Very powerful organization. But I'm doing some old timey shit that nobody wants. But
Pat and Rebecca are asking why they're getting their 7-Up in shot glasses.
Yeah. Oh, those kids will do well. They just want Prime, and they can't have Prime. They can't have Prime because it's full of the wrong kind of salts. They can have Gatorade if they're going to go out and play American football, but otherwise they can fuck off. Also, Logan Paul, maybe the worst person after Conor McGregor, but they just want Prime. I appear to be talking shite, lads. It was great. I have kids, so we had kid Christmas, and that's always very exciting. We also, an Xbox appeared here. The children know Santi doesn't bring games consoles because otherwise every kid in the country would have PS5. Like, they'd have 2. They'd have a spare one if Santi brought them, because, that's free. So they know that. But also, I think the time has come for my son to kind of level up to a better console than the Switch. That felt hard. That felt like opening up my marriage saying that. I apologize to Nintendo. So we managed to rig a joint present of grandparents to make an Xbox appear in the house. So obviously next time we talk on the Pubcast, I'll probably be on the international leaderboards of some major AAA title.
Nice.
I mean, it's got to be the logical next step for me, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're going to be like up there on Forza. Forza is going to be your main jam.
Yeah. Well, Forza, and then I like some of the pew pews, so I'll probably I'll just plat in a few of them. Just
sniping in COD.
Just do that. Yeah.
Yeah, playing the 3-hour campaign of the new COD game. Yeah.
I just don't get enough opportunity to yell at other people's kids.
Well, no,
nice
it'll be
the
kids are more than likely to be yelling at you or slagging you off.
Don't I know? Anyway, so it was really great and lovely, and I didn't drink enough and I didn't visit enough. So maybe I'll make up for it during these dog days of January.
I am wearing one of my Christmas gifts.
Brilliant.
Nice.
Brilliant.
Cookies, and for anyone obviously if you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, I'm wearing a Cookies and Monsters Players Manual t-shirt, basically a riff on the old red box of D&D, but it's Cookie Monster from Sesame Street.
Amazing. Do you know what Patrick got from Santi? The Lore and Legends D&D book.
Oh, nice.
That we gave away. What a coincidence. What a coincidence that I saw that book and it was so gorgeous, and then he received it. And I asked him, was it just summation of like the different source books? And he's like, no. He's like read the whole thing twice already.
Yeah, and just to clarify to our listeners and our viewers, it's not that we gave one away and then came all of a sudden and had one.
It's have that evidence. Every time we get beautiful prizes from Doc at Dublin City Comics and Collectibles, I'm like, want one.
Yeah.
Want one.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't, I don't know if you've watched our campaign, but I'm obviously not going to read it enough. So somebody who would got it. So that's good.
Yeah, no,
just get Patrick to write you out some notes.
Exactly,
he's read it twice. He's done the hard work.
Yeah. No, it's
It's
the
so
Laura
gross,
Letter's book
man.
is a summation, and it's a kind of a celebration of fifth edition of Dungeons and Dragons. It's got some beautiful artwork, history, lore, loads of stuff in it. It's amazing. It's a really, really beautiful book.
Something else. You want to see the customer service I got off them as well? Pew, 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 pew. I
Yeah,
want this. You can have this. Boom, boom, out, done.
done. I mean, like if you look back, I mean, we have to kind of do because we didn't do a Christmas show because we were all busy and one of us was very sick. But we have to look back on the year of 2023 because a lot of different things happened in the kind of nerd sphere, the world of nerd. A lot of different TV shows dropped, movies. We got a new Doctor Who. We had the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who. So there was so many things that happened. And I feel we'd be doing it a disservice if we didn't even mention it or talk about it or even give our highlights of the year.
Let's run it down. Let's run it.
Yeah, so we're gonna go to Jill first, Jill, because
Oh, really?
you had well you have. I mean, out of all of us, Jill has actually made a list, so
there are 3 items on the list.
there's more.
It's still a list.
Items, and it's still a list. There's more items than I have on any list. I'll try to pick. So go on with it.
So yeah, there are a couple of things I wanted an honorable mention of, and they did kind of come at the end of the year. Good Omens 2. I was very skeptical about them making a second series because the first series was based on a book. There's only one book. Also, Sir Terry is gone. And while I have all the faith in the world in Neil Gaiman, I was just like, oh, will it work though? And I had put off watching it for a while, and then I binged it over the Christmas. And it's fantastic. It's still a short series. I think it's only 6 episodes, like the first one. John Hamm is wonderful in his expanded role as Gabriel. It's got the same sense of humor. There's a recast. There's a different actor playing Beelzebub, I believe is the character's name. You've seen the first series, right, Wayne?
Yeah, and I read the book as well.
Yeah, so you're a fan.
Yeah.
So I think you'll enjoy it. I think well, the bromance and the love between Crowley and Aziraphale is wonderful, and I suppose that when you know that it's as real IRL for David and Michael, there's something quite special about it. But there's a couple of casting choices. You'll see David Tennant's father-in-law, the 6th Doctor, in there, and David Tennant's eldest son, who also appeared in House of the Dragon. Ty Tennant, I think.
Ty Tennant, yeah.
Yeah, he's a good actor. And there's a beautiful moment in the last episode, which I'm sure pleased a lot of fans like myself. Full on David Mackin on Michael.
Kim's interest suddenly is peaked.
But yeah, it's great show, and it ends the story in such a way that it's set up for a 3rd series. So I did read something a while ago that when Gaiman was talking about expanding beyond season 1, he did say, there is a part 2 to the story that is told in the book and in season 1, but that's not what we're doing season 2 on. I think they're going to use that story. They're going to come for full circle on the end of the world Antichrist story in season 3.
You know, it pretty much got greenlit for season 3 as soon as season 2 dropped, I think.
Yeah, so, I think you're right.
Yeah, because they like it is like it's kind of weird. There was a kind of a circular thing with Sheen and Tennant with their popularity and their friendship becoming very center staged even during COVID.
Yeah.
So with their own show that they did online, and then from that, then it kind of was like, I think their popularity as a duo, as a double act, bolstered by Good Omens, kind of pretty much was like gonna be a second season of that show. They'd be fools not to make it because the first one was so successful. Yeah. And I haven't watched the app for that very reason, that I was apprehensive because Pratchett is not involved because he's dead. So I had this, it definitely had a whiff of cash in for me. And yes, Gaiman is a great writer, but you wave a blank check in front of somebody to make another season of a show and bring everyone back, they're gonna say yes. But no, it's good to
we
saw
hear
season
that 2 of Heroes.
Yeah.
I watched all of Heroes.
Jesus.
That was supposed to be whatever about the writer's strike. It was always supposed to be one series, and you're just like, why did you do this?
Yeah, no, it's something that you definitely want. What's on the rest of your list there, Jill?
Well, here's one that you can talk about, presumably the new Godzilla.
Would you believe I have not seen that yet?
Hand back your Godzilla fan card right now.
I know, and it's just
I'm joking.
It's just timing. It's just
the
timing.
Good thing though is, the good thing is though, it was only supposed to be out for a limited release, but it's still in cinemas. So cinemas.
Yeah.
So if you can do a birthday present to yourself and go see it.
That's the plan. I think that's the plan. But I'm just the birthday present I'm getting right now is Kim's frozen face on the video.
I know, it's really funny. I'm gonna mess with this a little bit and see if I can come back.
But yeah, so go on, give it because you've experienced Godzilla like in Japan. So
I have, and let's not start me on another Japan is the best, everything sucks rant. But also, if you have the chance to go to Japan, go. So we got to go and see the new Godzilla movie just before Christmas. And I'm not going to give away any spoilers. What I will say is it's fucking great.
So
so Godzilla. No spoilers. It's really great story. The actors in it are fantastic. There's a couple of moments where I got like genuinely and it's set just after World War II. I'll give that away. And its effects are great. Like I said, really good story. If you're a fan of Godzilla, I think you'll really enjoy it. I was really excited to go see it, particularly having been to Japan and had the whole, enhanced Godzilla experience. I wouldn't be as knowledgeable a fan or as long a fan as you, Wayne, but I definitely think you'll be satisfied. So yeah, absolutely do yourself a birthday present and go see it if you can. I'm not sure how much longer it's in the cinemas for.
Should check.
Go for it.
Yeah, I'll check. But I mean, it's just a case of like it's that type of a film that you kind of have to see it on the big screen. So there is a performance in Cineworld at 1:10 on 2 on Friday. So we shall see. We shall see.
Watch the space. Come back and tell me what you think.
Yeah.
And I suppose sorry, go on ahead.
No, I was going to say, like, I know, like, I mean, the themes of Godzilla generally are the same. It's like, on the surface, obviously, big lizard attacks town, destroys everything. Humans question the world, and then they fuck off.
Yeah.
Godzilla fucks off back into the ocean. But from what I've seen of reviews of this, spoiler-free reviews, that it's very much a harrowing tale. And it's just that, and I've heard, like, from top to bottom, the cast are meant to be amazing.
They are really good, really good. And yeah, there's I suppose with some of the older movies, the focus was maybe on delivering this massive, ridiculous, fantastic creature, and the human story was an afterthought. And it's very much not this time around. Like I said, got me in the feels a couple of times, and there's a bit of a redemption story in it as well. So yeah, fun for all the family.
there seems to be a lot. So it's really weird because there's a lot of Zilla stuff around at the moment. There's like Godzilla Minus One. There is the Monarch TV series. There is now the new Godzilla X Kong, which is like they
Yes.
team up and get
Yeah.
attachments. Because the
Yeah.
trailer for that looks batshit. Like it's just so it's the differences between Japanese Godzilla and American Godzilla are like it's
Yeah.
literally the Grand Canyon of difference between them. It's
Yeah.
insane. But like if Dan Stevens is in the new American Godzilla film.
Yes.
Oh.
So like he's the dude and like he's a Hawaiian shirt wearing scientist looking motherfucker.
I love how like he's like Hollywood star Dan Stevens, but to me, he's still Matthew Crawley from Downton. Like,
Yeah, I always think it's so funny for everyone at award shows to watch these people go up for awards and go, oh, fuck, another English person. Like, as they, you would know if, I don't think Americans are very forgiving with accents. It doesn't bother them when two kids are sitting around a table in a sitcom and one of them sounds Canadian and one of them sounds Californian. That does my tits in. An accent will take me out of something very much, but they don't. Like, they could listen to Hugh Laurie's House and never go, how can you keep that up?
Just yeah.
But yeah,
Speaking
it must
of-
be nice. It must be nice to live in a world where that's fine. It must be nice to live in a world where Dr. Stephen Strange is American. It must be lovely, and I wish happiness and peace on everybody. It is a peace I cannot have, and it will be my scourge.
So here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
So here's the thing, Kim,
Mhm.
just to ride this segue.
Hong Kong. Yeah.
Like you saying all the British, like the Golden Globes yesterday were littered, or not yesterday, but during
Yeah.
the week. Sometime time is funny, I don't care. But it was just all Irish people.
Yeah.
So you literally had all of the male Irish actors in the universe.
Sorry, I read GQ. British actor Barry Keoghan.
Oh yeah. So that's what I
No.
was eventually going to steer the segue and crash into that moment.
Yeah, Brenda Fricker says when you're lying down drunk in an airport, you're Irish. When you win an Oscar, you're British.
Yeah. So yeah, GQ put up an interview that they did with Barry Keoghan and
Keoghan. They can have Conor
Keoghan.
McGregor.
Yeah, well, no, British boxer or MMA fighter,
Yeah,
Conor
yeah,
McGregor.
Yeah.
What an
He can
absolute
stay.
fucking waste that he is. They can have him.
Yeah.
But it's funny because it's Twitter just went. You know, you could hear like it was like the flames were burning to the theme of Around Naveen.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
The beacons were lit. Wayne, the
100%
beacons were
the
lit.
beacons were lit, and
Ireland will answer.
and Crumlin called for aid.
Yeah,
But
because
it was
it's not
like-
even just that he's Irish. Because, like, Aidan Gillen is Irish, but he's a child of the universe.
Yeah.
Barry Keoghan is from the flats in Crumlin in Dublin. He's not even Irish. He's from Dublin. He's so much from Dublin, he can't be Irish anymore. He's just a dub.
Yeah.
And we love that about him. And I thought that was a fridge too far. I'm like, lads, yous are trying it. Yous are trying it. But they're famed triers. They are.
Just I'll always refer to that interview with Samuel L. Jackson when he was doing SWAT with Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
And the interviewer was like, "Oh, so our Colin," and he was like, "Hang on, what? Isn't Colin's from Ireland?" She was like, "Yeah, but he's close, so we can claim him." He's like, "That's the problem with you British people. You're always trying to claim something that isn't yours." We had that in America as well. It was called slavery, and like she was just like,
"Get him, Samuel.
Get him. Get him."
So it was, but yeah, the following like Saltburn is. I haven't seen Saltburn.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it's like literally all over TikTok, all over Twitter. It's just everyone like it's in a typical rich American way. The rich Americans have taken what was meant to be that jabbing piece of sardonic humor, at the kind of rich class in the world, the 1%ers, and they've taken it as their own beacon call to parade around their homes and recreate scenes from Saltburn as a kind of a badge of honor. So yeah, like it's fucking strange. But yeah, so the whole thing with accents, right? What do you think
Yeah.
then of non-American, or sorry, Irish actors doing all the accents? Because there have been moments where you have an Irish actor doing an accent, you're kind of going,
No, look, Wayne, don't start this. We don't know that Magneto never spent a summer in Killarney. You don't know. You don't know. But yeah,
Magneto.
look, when it comes to the arts, within reason, outside of working with known crime lords or transgressors, get your bag, sis. I'm even the same. I'm like, it's if you can book the job, it's if you're unsuitable, that's on the casting director.
Yeah.
And that's on the director not to go, are we sure about this? I was at a very illustrious event there at the beginning of December, kind of like a moody little Japanese dinner, just with some local VIPs. And oh, Gill, you were there. Oh, it was Jill's birthday. That's right, it was Jill's birthday. So Jill's friend is an actor, and I am fascinated because my brief forays into acting during role playing, they just, even on such a small baby steps level, it's so revealing, and I hate it because I am just a complete fraud. And acting is so exposing and so so enveloping that I just cannot appreciate the craft enough. And when I've seen the rigmarole that people take me on in films that I've seen 5 times already, you're like, it's witchcraft. But I was talking to her and I said, how come the Celtic lads tend to do so well and tend to be able to bring depth to these things, to such an extent that Scottish and Irish people are just, they're overrepresented for our population, overrepresented in movies and plays, and she said, there's a few things going on there, but there's a lot of trauma. That helps.
yeah, yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, fuck. There'd be a lot of things that you can bring, and you see, that's why I would hate it, because my whole life is running this way from everything that went on over there. Instead of using it, instead of working with it, I'm like, no, thanks. So, do you want to talk about Star Wars?
If you did that game, you'd be a dungeon master. That's how it works.
But yeah, it was such a great chat, and yeah, you can just they're just in. It's so weird to think of, like, I do like when you see a photo shoot of Paul Mescal or Barry Keoghan, and you can see a slight, what he is even asking me in their face, just slight, like but they're so good they can cover it mostly.
Yeah, there's a moment of this is preposterous.
Yeah, this is okay. My mom's gonna look at this. There's a bit of my mom's
the lads in the pub are gonna see this.
Yeah. Or, they're just moving their shirt up and they're like, thank fuck nobody can hear what you're saying to me, and but they bring an energy. It is really annoying when Irish Twitter is like, oh, he looks like he's going to his debs. I'm like, yeah, that's the only time we wear suits normally. Congratulations. But yeah, there's a slight kind of, yeah, I know this is silly and this is silly, but this is what they want me to do, which they bring that kind of they made me energy to it that I like. But yeah, it's good. It's really stunning to see that 50% of the actor category being from here.
Yeah, because I think what's his face, sexy priest from Fleabag.
Yeah, Andrew Scott.
Andrew Scott. Yeah,
he was asked, like, what's the crack? Everyone here is Irish. What's going on? Why you're all Irish? And he just started to list off all these names. I'm like, Yeah, everyone's fucking Irish. But did you see there was a moment in the Gold Globes where Cillian Murphy was announced and won, and they cut to Bradley Cooper,
Yeah,
who was expecting to
why
win
did
for
they do that?
Maestro.
Shady
Yeah, well,
bitches.
it is what they do. They get that reaction, like, you know.
It's really annoying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, most reaction shots you see is just Rob De Niro just like this.
Or Taylor Swift existing.
Yeah,
Like, leave her alone.
yeah, she's just chilling.
Let her be plasticine in her own space.
That host was rubbish. He was not funny.
I don't know I don't even know who he was. I've never heard of him before. And maybe that just speaks to my lack of knowledge of whatever the fuck he's meant to be. But I don't know who he was.
Well, it's a horrible room that comedians will tell you it's the worst room to play. Like most people are either really drunk or nervous, and it's not good vibes fun time. And it's not super slickly professional like the Oscars and stuff like that. So nobody really wants to do it. But I heard a load of comedians talking about his performance, and they played the clip of him going, "Hey, look, I wrote some of these jokes and they're the ones you laughed at." And they were like, "Is that an option? Can you just shit on your writers in the speech?" Because then I do it. If I could go, "Oh, blah blah wrote that. That's not good." Okay, but yeah, I thought it was very bad form. But it's horrible to go into a room like that. Our mate Jerry once played what's the sports bar-y thing in Temple Bar, was beside God. It's kind of like the Hard Rock Cafe, but not really.
Okay.
He said all the screens were still on. Nobody, everyone was trying to watch the game. And he's like, "Hello, everybody."
Harsh.
I get the impression to be kind of like that. Nobody's there for you, and we already know I nearly said the horrible foreign press, but they have been in quite a lot of trouble. So the Hollywood, what's the full name of the Golden Globes Academy? Anyway, they're a pack of cunts, and nobody wants to do that room. So yeah, it's probably good being kind of unknown, because you can just go back to being unknown if it bombs, and you could make it if you were able to do anything with it.
What was interesting was he made a terrible joke at Taylor Swift's expense. And he made some comment about the difference about this awards show versus the NFL is there are less cuts to Taylor, and referencing the fact that the cameras at the game, her fella and all that shit, and it cut to Taylor.
Just did that then.
And all she did was she just didn't laugh and took a sip of her drink, and the news sites, some news sites are running it as, she can't take a joke, she like overreacted, blah blah blah. Yeah, you're the same site that will support a complete overreaction of a man a year ago at the Oscars. So like, make up your fucking mind.
Jill, sorry, you're trying to tell me there's some weird internet double standard. Fuck off.
That can't be right.
No.
But anyway,
there were good awards won.
Good awards won by lots of savage Irish people.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen Killers of the Flower Moon yet. Anybody I know who's seen it has said, it's good, but it's too long. But shout out to Lily Gladstone, who's the first Indigenous person to win an award, and Ali Wong, the first person of Asian descent to win an award. Both badass bitches. As I said, I haven't seen that movie, but I have seen Lily Gladstone in Reservation Dogs, which is a phenomenal little comedy drama. For any listeners who haven't seen it, go watch it. It's only 3 seasons long. They did wrap it up in 2023. And she's great in it. The cast actually are all fantastic.
Speaking of very, very tenuously linked, guess what Johnny Come Lately finally watched?
What?
Prey.
What?
I finally watched Prey.
The Predator movie.
I was sitting with Andrew over Christmas. I'm like, let's watch something good. I feel like watching something good that I haven't seen yet. And I went, oh, this is really excellent. I'll watch this. So she knew it was really excellent, but she didn't watch it. But yeah, put on. Oh my God, what a romp. Like the film starts and and Chekhov's disguise, Chekhov's arrow, Chekhov's rope, just set up, paid off. None of my time wasted. Boolabus all round. Boolabus. What a banger.
Yeah.
What a banger.
Yeah, it is a good one.
Yeah. Are they to do more of them?
Meant to be. And following the success of that digitally, they decided to actually release it physically, which rarely happens in this day and age. They did a limited physical copy run of that following the success of it on digital media.
Nice. Very good.
Yeah.
It's just such a good little film.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was like a 90s style. No, actually things got very bloated in the 90s, but you know what I mean? It's just very self-contained, wonderful little thing. Great premise and just kept very simple. Great actors. It was really excellent. I started playing Mario Galaxy, just if we're talking about current events, that things that are out now and really happening. You know, the launch title of the Switch. Anyway, I started playing Mario Galaxy, and every time I got a lad who had multiple prizes for me, I called him a spiller of the power moon.
Oh, Jesus.
There's the name of the episode right there, fuck's sake.
Oh no.
Well.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Wayne, you have Apple
Yes.
TV, but you haven't watched things on your Apple TV. But something that you might enjoy and that your lovely wife might enjoy, which if you haven't watched it yet, the fabulous, gorgeous, multi-talented Hannah Waddingham did a Christmas special for Apple TV.
Yes.
And she sings a lot. And she duets with a few people. One of them is Luke Evans. There's a dance number with the boys
excited,
from Ted Lasso. Really?
Anyway, no, the drummer. I know. It's silly.
What's his name? Is it Leslie Odom Jr. is in
Leslie Odom Jr.
Yeah, she does a duet with Leslie Odom Jr. So if you're a Hamilton fan, right? But it's fabulous and Christmassy, and if you're looking for something to end the season, give it a watch. I think it's less than an hour, and she does some great oldie musical tunes with people.
Gill, those for him and her joints are so valuable, like something that will reach across the divide and go, you know what, this is a together one, you know. They're really valuable.
Well, what else is there anything else on your list for 2023, Joe?
You mentioned it briefly, but I have been enjoying the Monarch series on Apple.
Yes.
Explain what that is, Jill.
So it is a Godzilla related property. So it kicks off a year after the 2015 G-Day attack. So, and the way it's done is it's kind of it's making an attempt, it seems, to tie the American versions of Godzilla and the Japanese ones, because it is set in both Japan and America. There's a Japanese American character who has to travel to Japan, and there's a whole story that I don't want to ruin the story because it evolves with each episode. But Kurt Russell is amazing in it because he's fucking Kurt Russell.
Wow.
And his son Wyatt plays a younger version of him back in the 50s and 60s. So he is he's in the United States Army, and he's involved with Monarch. And then there's two scientists. There's Dr. Randa, he's an American scientist, and a Japanese female scientist whose name has escaped me now because I've trying to think about it. But yeah, so there's multi-languages and stuff in it as well. But it's an interesting story of how they're tying in the various Godzilla creature lore, the Mutos as they refer to them. And you know, it's about the organization known as Monarch, which has been monitoring these events for like 70 years. I will say the younger characters, so there's Kate, her brother Kentaro, and their friend May, and they equally all annoy me at some point during the series. I'm like, fucking Gen Z, fuck yous. But it's other than that, it's a great story. Also lots of because the big G man is in it too, and some other fantastical creatures. But yeah, I would, if you're a fan of Godzilla, you're a fan of that kind of stuff, give it a go. I'm interested to see where
Apple
they finish
TV
it.
keeping their massive series as like some sort of
It's
secret.
where celebrities go to hide.
Yeah. Like one show I picked up, I did pick up from Apple TV that I have been watching, and I'm on I think I'm on the start of season 2 now.
Yeah.
Is Foundation.
Oh, it's on my list.
I was watching all of that.
The Isaac Asimov series. Now they have taken some liberties, but with that particular set of books, there is a need if you want to compact it into like a small seasons of shows. But it has Lee Pace in it, being Lee Pace.
He's really Lee pacing around.
Just pacing around the place because he's just all gorgeous and flowing and posy and stuff.
He really is. Did he get extra crispy pancakes or something? How did somebody English of that generation end up like that? It's a triumph of nature.
Lee Pace is American.
What?
Who did you substitute in your brain?
Who did I substitute? He's just got an Englishy vibe. He's American.
He does. So he played Thranduil in the Hobbit films. He was in Pushing Daisies. He was in The Fall, which is a film that everyone should see.
Well, you see, and Anna Friel obviously is English and was in Pushing Daisies. And then, okay. Oh my, what? Okay, that makes more sense. He was obviously born in a country where there's angel dust in the beef, because it's the only way you get them their
he
neck
is
and
from
jaw
Oklahoma. That's where he's from.
Oh, okay. He's a country boy. Okay. Oh, so somebody finally got it the wrong way around. I'm glad to present myself to the International Council as someone who got it the wrong way around. Yeah. I'd like to thank the Academy in my Australian accent, which I have. I've just been pretending to be Irish this whole time.
Beautiful. But yeah, no, Lee Pace is kind of like the focus of it, really. You tune in to watch him just exist, but stuff happens around his characters, and if you haven't read Foundation, and I'm going to start going into the plot, that's a whole different podcast. But it is the money is on the screen. You can see it, and Kim, there's some nice little cameos. Steve Pemberton turns up.
Oh yeah, I've seen him. So Andrew was watching them.
Yeah.
While I was titting around with very important things, obviously. So I frequently would go, oh. But yeah, I don't like, because we do most of our viewing of things very late at night. I don't have the brain capacity for like head scratchers. I don't want my whole reality shaken, at that time of night. But who knows? When they go to college, I'll catch up.
Fingers crossed. You have a lot to watch. But that's the one thing on Apple TV in the last year that I have actually was like.
Hey, I'll tell you what. You and him are similarly clever. My other half really liked Silo as well, and he liked it so much he bought the book after. Which, so I think this 2 seasons. Jared Harrising around.
I would say, Kim, because you love him so much, put Severance on your list if you haven't watched it yet, with Adam Scott.
She's been watching Severance.
Oh, okay, that's
dying waiting for the next. That was really excellent. Really excellent. I said I didn't want my entire reality messed with, but we started watching it while I was on Hollybobs, so I was more rested. More, yeah.
You could take it.
I could take it.
Well,
like, yeah, I would watch my bestie Adam Scott in anything.
There's excuse me. There's an example. Like, I mean, there's a couple of shows on Apple TV that are like top tier, and there's more there. Like,
yeah.
apparently
That's only scratched the surface.
It's meant to
no,
be
but I'd rather watch 450 Amazon Prime ads instead for the Grand Tour.
Yeah, fuck that noise. But like, I mean, there's an oh Christ, it went out of my head there. Slow Horses is meant to be very good as well. The Gary Oldman vehicle.
I've heard that too.
There.
Yeah.
3 seasons of that show. It's in their MI5 kind of undercover spy kind of a situation thing going on, and it's meant to be fantastic. And he's cropping up everywhere, being interviewed about Slow Horses. So it's on again. It's been added to my list of things to watch when I have the time. But no, I'll get to it. Monarch isn't kind of next. Once I see Godzilla -1, I'll be in that frame of mind. I'll probably come home and watch the first couple of episodes. And then I'll probably make Arvin watch Godzilla on my birthday.
And then you're going to watch that King Kong movie that came out this year. Or play that King Kong game that came out this year.
Oh, God, yeah. So this year for gaming, will we jump to my list for 2023?
Jump to your list.
Yeah, go for it.
So my list, while it's kind of a weird highlight list, it's stuff that I've enjoyed and stuff that I've found being baffled by. And speaking of that King Kong film, so I'm a huge Lord of the Rings mark. Okay, huge. You put Lord of the Rings on something or Tolkien on something,
I know what's coming.
Buy it or watch it or do whatever, right?
Yeah.
There was one thing. I'm a person who sat through Rings of Power and was like, you know. So I was like,
it looks pretty.
I can see what they tried to do, and it was fine. I'll watch season 2 maybe. After all, Amazon plays their ads true. But a game was released in 2023 that I wouldn't touch with yours. I swear to God.
I had to watch people playing it on Twitch. I had to.
Lord of the Rings Gollum, right? It was meant to be a stealth kind of creepy game, like Gollum, like, going around like precious, all that stuff. And it was on the tracks to become voted the worst game of the year, and with very good reason. It was fucking dire. Like, there was people doing streams on Twitch because it was so bad. Like, because the game was so bad, it got a cult following, and people were actually going out and buying it and streaming it in order to show how bad it was.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then
it was stunning. You're just watching this stream, and he's just stuck on a step. And you're like, oh, I didn't realize they could still get characters stuck on a step.
Yeah,
technology.
I saw so many clips where he was just walking and then he just died. Ragdolls.
Yeah.
He would just walk along and it'd be just like boom, boom, boom. I'll see if I can find a clip of somebody's stream, which I will credit, and I'll clip it in here on YouTube now.
Okay, wait. Swing, swing, swing. Uh-oh, oh God. Can you explain your quick thoughts to the community? I can summarize this game as...
But it's like, that's how bad it was. It was like they were literally plodding along, just walking, and he'd clip off, like you say, he'd clip off a step, he'd hit a rock, and the character would just die. Like he was made of paper. There was moments where you see them it was a jump. They had to do a jump from one platform to another. And they'd jump and go through the platform after landing halfway into it. Like,
oh my God.
It was just, I was baffled by it. And but under no circumstances was I tempted to spend my money on it. And just for the sake of it, But on the flip side of that, over the Christmas in 2023, before Christmas hit, I got on the Epic Store, I got it for a discounted down to 20 quid. I got Return to Moria, which is a building survival game set in the world of Lord of the Rings in the Fourth Age, after the movies, after the books, like after those stories that people are very, very familiar with. The Fourth Age is very much a lesser documented time in the world of Lord of the Rings, or Tolkien in Middle Earth, and it's set then where the dwarves go to reclaim Moria from the orcs, and you play one of those dwarves who is basically digging in Moria, trying to rebuild the realm of Khazad-dûm for the dwarves, and it's fantastic. It is. I don't play those types of games. Yes, obviously, because it is stuffed full of Tolkien lore, I'm like, precious, like loving it. But I couldn't get over how much I enjoyed playing that game. So there was in 1 year, we got 2 Tolkien-based games. One was Utter Dross, and one was Return to Moria. So yeah, that would be one of my highlights and lowlights, I guess, of the year. But I was baffled by how many people were actually going to the trouble of going, I'm going to spend 40. It was only a 40 quid game. Like, it wasn't a AAA game where you're spending
Yeah,
70
they were
quid for it.
warned.
Yeah.
Those, if you've got recognizable IP and that game is reduced, something's gone wrong.
Well, like I said, Return to Moria was only 20 quid.
Oh, that's good.
It was reduced from 40, and I got it for 20. It was on sale, and I got it for 20 quid, and it's probably one of the best 20 euros I threw down for a game. But the Gollum game was famously bad, and it was, like I said, it was in line for being the worst game of the year until the Kong game came along.
Yeah.
A game was released set on Skull Island with Kong, and it looked like it was made for the PS1. And
Yeah.
this was being released on PS5s and Xboxes and PCs.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
By
Like,
Game Mill. God bless him.
Yeah.
God bless him.
I think it was obviously a money laundering scheme somewhere. Somebody was pumping money into this firm to build this game so they could launder some cash. There's no other reason for this. But it was so bad that people didn't I think some people went and got it and streamed it and did that usual thing where it was like, this is fucking atrocious. But there was famous cutscenes of Kong in a pit, and he was surrounded by bones, and then this plant would come out of the ground that looked like a dick and would try to eat him, and Kong's face was like, huh? It was just comically bad. Bad. And see, again, I'll see if I can find the clip, and here we go.
The internet has decided to give the title of worst game of 2023 to Skull Island: Rise of Kong. Clips of the game started going viral on Twitter, showing off its less than stellar performance. This clip in particular strangely uses just a still image of a monster instead of the monster itself. As the name suggests, the game follows a young Kong as he fights his way to his rightful place as King of Skull Island. Your king, ladies and gentlemen. Comparisons were also drawn between the 2005 King Kong game and Beast Wars. If you want to play this yourself, you can get it now for just $39.99. Is that a lot for this, or is that a steal? There's only one way to find out.
Well, yeah, it's just in this day and age when it comes to video games, right? The video games for me in 2023, there were extreme highs with Baldur's Gate 3, which is the yardstick now for everything.
Game of the year.
Can you imagine that, like, how good the game had to be to come along and win, considering what they did with Tears of the Kingdom? And Baldur's Gate 3 just came out with their full cast and luscious gameplay, and you're just like, okay.
Yeah, no, like they did it, like the Larian like knocked it out of the park. But then you had the audacity of Microsoft and and the studios like Bethesda coming out and going, but Starfield. And while there are some people out there who really liked Starfield,
sorry, Wayne, can I just do it once, okay? And I'll never do it again, okay? Fucking pronouns!
The kids can hear you.
Current day.
The kids can hear you, Kim.
The kids can hear you, Kim.
No, not anymore. They're asleep now. They're asleep.
Oh, well,
Not anymore, they're not.
No, they can hear
Yeah, no, we're far enough away. We're far enough away.
But yeah, like that moron who got mentally fucking overreacted on TikTok or whatever because
I'll never get rid of him from that game. You're gonna say that name, and all I'm gonna hear is fucking pronouns. I said I'd say it once, and I've already lied. Anyway.
Well, yeah, so like this big tentpole game for Bethesda and Microsoft was on the horizon for a long time, and out came the most bland, vanilla flavored piece of gaming that I've ever played. Like
It
I got
wasn't
it.
even worth his spit, Wayne. It wasn't worth all that spit.
No,
He should have
like
just played it.
like it's literally loading screens hidden, fast travel loading screens hidden as transit screens. Just just bad. Like a game that should have come out 10 years ago and it would have been considered really good.
Right.
You know, it shows that it's been in development for such a long time because they literally took a model of a game that was made back then and just put a polish on it eventually and got it to where it is now.
Were they trying to make it big but forgot to fill it out? Is that what were they were going for, like?
I know, I think they took, like I said, they took an idea that is too old for a game, right? They took essentially Skyrim, which is a
Right.
very old game at this stage, but keeps getting released and keeps getting repackaged because it's so beloved, because it did break boundaries when it was released. And when it was released, it was. I love that game. I love Skyrim. But the modders took that game and they were like, thanks very much. And they made it into something even bigger. And the modders will take Starfield and probably do a lot with it.
Right.
But I think the problem with Starfield is that the blueprint is of a game that was made 10 to 15 years ago. And if Starfield had come out then and was available then, it would have been lauded. It would have been called one of the best games ever made. But because it's coming out now, where the medium has jumped so far ahead, and so many more options are now available to developers, and games are so types of games and worlds that are so vast. It just didn't live up to expectations. Not that it ever could. Expectations were way too high for it. But I don't even think it cleared the bar of being an overly brilliant game, just at the base level. For me, anyway. Right. I know some people that have loved it and really enjoyed it and love the world that it is, and that's fine. I just think it's too dry. It's just a very boring universe. And there was too much needed to get yourself to a point where you were going to enjoy it. There was way too much grind expected to be put into it to get you to a point, oh, now I get it. Now, at that point, it's just Stockholm Syndrome for me, because you've put so much time into this game. You're dialed into it so hard that this is no other option than to just love it and get it done. And I didn't. Like, I played it for a good 20 hours. I gave it some time. Like, I did put time into it. And maybe, like, I mean, I'm not saying that I wasn't tainted by the fact I came off Baldur's Gate 3, played one other game, and then went into Starfield. I went into Starfield knowing what I was going to play. It was a very different game. But I've played other games like it that are done better and don't waste my time as much as Starfield did. So yeah, I think that was, again, wasn't one of my highlights. I'm doing kind of a pros and cons of it. Like, you have Baldur's Gate 3 on one side, and then you have Starfield, and you have two AAA titles that can show you, regardless of how much money you put into one, with Starfield, you still need to have a soul in a game for it to be fun and enjoyable. And then you have Baldur's Gate 3, which is just pure joy, wrapped in love, wrapped in let's fuck everybody. That's pretty much what the game is. Like, just ride. Just go for it. You know? Hump a bear, fine, go for it.
Well, I think we can credit the lead developer, Paul Cook, for that direction. I just feel like he was very bold, you know.
QA lead.
Yeah.
Our mate was a playtester, and that's what's going on here.
So I mean, look, as far as that, there seems to be games at the moment, because I played a fair bit of video games in 2023, but we had, for me, being me, one of my all-time cinema highlights was John Wick 4. We got to see the continuation and maybe the end of that universe or that world for now. Because Keanu said, look, I'm gonna have a rest for a bit. So
I'm old.
Wayne, you'll remember when the DVDs came out, and it was the first time we'd seen this word. The Alien quadrilogy was advertised, right? Yeah, quadrilogy. Yeah. And everyone went, what? Well, we had another moment like that when we were reading about the upcoming movies in the Irish Times supplement at Christmas. and it said there's a John Wick interquel coming. Not a sequel,
Oh, is
not
this
a prequel.
Ballerina? It's
an
Ballerina.
interquel.
It's set between 3 and 4.
But they're really, really trying to expand our vocabularies over here.
Yeah.
Interquel.
That sounds like something you take to go to sleep at night.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
It does.
So
was
this
presume
the
that's
Irish
what they're talking
Times
about.
that coined this phrase? Was this...
I got the impression it came from a press release. I don't think they were trying that, but I will allow myself to be corrected on that. It seemed like something that might have come from a press release. The way it was written kind of tongue in cheek, but
it's
it wouldn't be beyond. Yeah.
It's a blatant spin-off, right?
Yeah, that's it. Spin-off. What's wrong with that fucking phrase?
Got a phrase already.
What's her face? Anna
but look,
Armas is in
caught
it.
my attention.
Yeah. Anna de Armas is she was in one of the worst movies of 2023 with Chris Evans, which is also an Apple TV exclusive.
I haven't watched it.
Yeah.
It got terrible reviews.
Me and Irene watched it the night it got launched. We just decided we needed something new and shiny, and we watched it.
Yeah, what's the worst that could happen looking at them two? But yeah, whoa.
Exactly. There's the film you think, as you said earlier on, Kim, something that caters for both sides, right?
Yeah.
So we're sitting here, and it literally is like this for the whole movie.
Oh, that's shocking.
Yeah, go on.
No, go on.
I'll tell you in a minute. No, keep going.
That's it. No, like I'm done. When you say something, when you do something like that, make that noise. I'm kind of like, okay, go.
It's because when your face just reminded me of kind of half of my reaction to the recent John Woo directed Silent Night.
Oh yes,
with Joel Kinnaman. Did you watch it?
I haven't seen it yet.
Like,
no.
I get the concept, but it was so like.
What age is John Woo now? He's gonna be like 90.
I don't know, but I was like, John Woo, great reputation for the old action flicks, hasn't been around for a while. Let's give this guy a go. And Joel Kinnaman, I've seen him in a plethora of things that I liked him in, particularly Altered Carbon season 1. Yes. And I get the concept and the story behind him. Why, like, it is literally Silent Night. There is no dialogue in this movie. There's a couple of lines from, but like, I don't understand why everybody else around him, he can't talk. Why doesn't everybody else talk? Like, there's lots of pensive looking at each other with his wife, and I'm like, she can still speak. What's going on? Like, why isn't she at least trying to talk him out of this hole that he's falling into and educating himself to be a fucking vigilante via YouTube videos? But like, she just spends a lot of time sending him fucking text messages and brooding and staring at him. But it's
is it bananas?
It's definitely not bananas good.
No, it's not bananas good. It's regular bananas.
It was one of those movies we finished it. We were like, well, that was that.
You sure it wasn't a COVID fever dream or something that you had over the crimbo?
Oh, speaking of COVID.
Oh,
I finally caught up on some clunkers, just for completionist sake. My son, horror of horrors, turns around to me and goes, "Can we go see Aquaman?" I'm like, "It's a sequel. Can we watch the first one?"
Can you go see what?
Aquaman. He wanted to go see the new Aquaman in the cinema, and I'm like, it's a part 2, Pat. And he's like, "What's the first one?" I'm like, bought it on YouTube when we watched it, lads. Anyway, it's grand. It's fine. But
I will
caught
say,
up on some
I didn't
other,
mind.
Yeah.
I didn't mind the first Aquaman.
It's
I thought
grand.
it was okay.
It's grand, but we haven't gone to see the second one yet, and I'm glad. Yeah. But I caught up on some other dross, things that I did not get to the cinema for, and then a week later realized, oh, it's good you had no time that week. Ant-Man et la Guêpe, Quantumania.
Yeah.
Holy God. And the reason COVID brought me in is, I think Le Guêpe was not in that film because if Angelina Lilly is an internet toilet when it comes to COVID, so she wouldn't get vaccinated. So there's fuck tons of Michael Douglas in that film, and I don't think he was supposed to be there. I think it had to be rewritten because she wouldn't get the shot. So then at the end, there's a hug where the kiss should be, and I'm like, oh my god, he's fucking right. He went, I'm not kissing that bitch. I'm not kissing that bitch. It's not worth it. It was so obvious on his face. Oh god.
I still haven't watched it.
Oh, Marvel's wheels coming off. Is like, look, we are not hired stooges. We enjoy what we enjoy, and then we fully acknowledge the falling off of wheels. And don't know what they're going to do. They thought assigning us homework across multiple platforms was going to work out for them, and it just hasn't. Although Andrew mentioned over Christmas that he hadn't seen WandaVision, and I'm like, oh god, I enjoyed it every bit as much the second time around. And then to think what happened in that Doctor Strange sequel to that character, and to Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
He got two. How many scenes in that were Sam Raimi scenes? Two?
The one at the end where Strange was zombified.
Of course. Yeah, of course.
That was pure Raimi.
Pure Raimi.
Oh yeah.
And then the
I
bit
wish
with the
Doctor
arms.
Strange, Army of Darkness.
Yeah. And then I wish there was none, because then I wouldn't. Then I was in the cinema being pulled forward to go, Sam Raimi's here, like with like 10 minutes to go, and you're like, you pricks. But yeah, whatever. Like, the whole point of Marvel was that they had a plan, unlike DC, and that the directors were being left alone. But then the machine got so big, and of course they were getting these really excellent indie directors because they could push them around, because it was their first big feature. And they broke the spirit of God knows how many. Never forget Joe Cornish. And they're I don't know what they're going to do next, but they better not assign us any more fucking homework. And shocking.
Well, I mean, they have a new show out now, Echo. This follow up to Daredevil and
yeah.
Like, why am I hearing about this here? I'm such a mark.
I only saw it.
Is it on Disney Plus
yesterday?
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, it's on Disney Plus, and Vincent D'Onofrio was in it as Kingpin. And
oh shit, no! I wish to take it back. I have been I've been advertised to a lot about that. It's just the title is so nothing. I didn't remember it.
Like the character.
It's such an unevocative title. Yeah, I saw his back coming into frame. I'm like, I know who the fuck that is right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
What was my brain? Oh yeah, She-Hulk. So following on from She-Hulk, so it goes from Daredevil, what's his name? Charlie Cox's Daredevil, into She-Hulk, now into Echo.
Yeah.
And it's following on from there, and apparently it's meant to be very good. It's getting really good reviews, which is more than I can say for the last couple of shows that they put out together. Like Secret Invasion can go do one.
I watched one of those and I was like, oh, they're actually just pulling down their pants at me.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, here, eat this, you idiot. I was like, oh my God. The whole point, I'm coming in here. The whole point of that show is that anyone could be one, anyone could be any of the, and then they just take off the mask, or they just change back in a mirror immediately. I'm like, oh, there might have been some tension there, lads. Thanks. Oh, thanks. Oh my God, that was a scary 4.5 seconds. Oh
yeah.
Imagine if they held their piss for 20 minutes. No, impossible.
No.
Challenge level impossible. What went so wrong? Oh, that was the one we talked about this. They said, oh, our bad, we're going to have showrunners.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay. Yeah.
So, and like,
do you think
it's also
Ant-Man and the Wasp felt like it was supposed to be a Disney Plus show that got? expanded or cut.
I think that got destroyed in the edit, or it got destroyed by executive committee. Because the Ant-Man films before then were just like, they're really good.
So fun.
They're fun. Paul Rudd is getting to be Paul
so
Rudd.
fun.
But the special effects in Quantumania.
Was this when the special effects people were like crashing, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. But I mean, to go with that look for MODOK, he looked like the dude from Spy Kids. And not even Spy Kids 1, Spy Kids 3, or was it fucking Shark Boy and Lava Girl? What's his name? The actor, I can't remember his name now, apologies, but it's the same thing. He's just a face inside a TV screen with arms. And it was just like, what the fuck is this?
Answer the charge, okay? I'm going to say something that probably was said in one of the 19 meetings about this, okay? Hey, people love this character. This is what he looks like. We have to make him look like that, or they'll be mad. The MODOK heads are going to be so mad. He has to look like this.
Yeah.
What's the answer?
He doesn't look like that, though. He doesn't look like that in the
Oh, he doesn't?
No.
I thought that's the only reason he would look that way.
No. Like, he is a giant head in a floating with little arms, but he's like, he's not a screen face. He's an actual head.
Yeah, a head. Yeah,
he's not like
Krang.
it's not like it looks like Krang, and it like exactly that. It's like but it's a massive head thing, you know?
Yeah.
With that floats around, and it's just like, there's actually, you know what the thing is though? Disney made a MODOK series, a cartoon series off the character, and in that he is perfect. He is perfect.
When?
It's brilliant. They made it like, I think they made it like about 1.5 years ago, 2 years ago maybe.
Yeah,
Time is weird.
the algorithms.
Right?
Oh,
it's
such
in there.
fools.
Like they made a cartoon of this character, and it is great. It's really good, and they know what this character is meant to be. They have all the reference they want. They own it all. But yet the special effects team, who are probably dying on their arse at that point in time, that is what they offered up, and that is what got approved. It's like that scene in the last Thor movie where they have the floating kid's head. In the same, where it's just like, and they're like, this was okay. This got pushed through. This was allowed. You know, so it's just
they covered a lot. They covered a lot in Ms. Marvel by having the fights at night and in the dark. They really got away with murder.
The Marvels film is meant to be fantastic, and it's meant to be like that. Like,
it was in Donald Clark's top 10 worst films of the year.
No way, really?
Yeah, they said whatever this was supposed to be, they've chopped it. And the editing, they said I don't know what this was supposed to be, but I'm going to presume that Donald Clark hasn't seen as much as I have, but I really wanted to see that, and not because I was told to. I really wanted to see it, but just like you with Godzilla, things didn't work out. I had sick kids and stuff.
So I had to
Google
Donald Clark to find out who he is, and he's the movie critic for the Irish Times. That holds zero weight with me at all. Zero weight with me at all. None.
Do you think he's the kind of person who would write interquill?
So yeah,
his quiz is good. His quiz is good. Oh, actually, it's really
that's grand. His intern probably wrote that. Donald Clark looks like me if he just drank piss all day.
If he's just mad, mad.
That's Donald Clark. So he just looks like me if he drank piss all day. That's what it is.
It's a strong look, piss drinking Wayne. You're not drinking piss. Show us what you're drinking tonight.
I've finished my drink. I need to go get another one, which I will do right now, and we will take a quick
a drink break. Yeah.
We'll be right back after these messages. And we have gotten our drinks. We have drinkified ourselves.
Everybody.
Kim has on the wine. Why didn't you drink the wine out of the fucking Thanos cup?
Have to wash it.
Okay.
I decaf coffee in this minute ago.
Oh yeah, you don't.
Oh right, okay.
You don't want to be doing that. Yeah. And you can't be washing all them fingers. Pain in the soup. Anyway, So 2023 was quite the year. for all of us. Desperate in getting to the cinema, I have to say. I still haven't seen Boy and the Heron, which I'll probably have to go to Dublin to see. Tears of the Kingdom came out, and it was...
Kim lost her life.
I was just absent. Just out of office. I was out of office. I will not be taking calls at this time. It was really lovely, and thank all you wonderful nerds for that ridiculous work who needed that. Anyway, it was wonderful. Thank you very much. But 2 highlights. Went to Dublin Comic Con in the summer with the kids. My daughter was dressed as Raven, and I took a picture with her and 7 other ravens, and it was joy, joy, joy. And there's a particular kind of tween girl who dresses as Raven, and I want to just tell you, I see you. I love you. Really excellent. I can't believe how many people loved Penny from Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. That was my costume, and I really cannot believe how many people lost their entire shit over this highly I mean, it was a hoodie. She wears a hoodie and boots. Where was the stretch? But I did, like, they just love her because she's such a weirdo, and the con loves weirdos. We love it. There wasn't a lot at the con for me to go to, but when you have the kids, it doesn't really matter. If they get around the trade hall and they get to see versus battles in a huge auditorium in the gaming section, and if they get around the artist alley, then you've done it. So it doesn't matter about getting to panels or anything or doing the cosplay competition. People who've listened to the Pubcast for a long time know that we have a long history with Dublin Comic Con. We were there from the beginning. We were myself and Wayne interviewing people in the dog show hall.
Yeah, I was there.
Yes,
staff.
you were.
And with Lightning Strike back in the day.
Yeah, Lightning Strike. So we've been there since the beginning. We've seen everything. And one of the things that's been difficult has been seeing the areas where stagnation has set in and the con isn't living up to its potential, because it just needs to open the doors at this point and 20,000 people will be in there at the weekend. We are that starved for that kind of day, and the whole thing has been kept alive by cosplayers. And you see a little bit of rot setting in with the kind of bookings they're making. It's an extremely heteronormative con, and it's very, very masculine. And when you compare it to we love you, Arcade Con, compared to Arcade Con and just how gay that event was and just how kooky that event was, and there's really, really missing somewhere to just full on let your freak flag fly, because the people who go to Comic-Con also listen to Today FM. They will give away tickets in the major newspapers. It's so mainstream, and we love that for them. We love that they make so much money. We love that so many people go. But when you see what they could be doing and how they could get really devoted, really recognize huge sections of Irish society that are not recognized, like if you got the weeaboos in there, like with any outreach at all towards the little anime kids, and then the walls came tumbling down this year. And as we know, nothing ever gets tidied up in this country without a full-scale scandal beforehand. So anyone who knows the ins and outs, both Wayne and Gill have worked there. I never have. Well, I did it obviously in the early days.
The early
I
days,
did.
you were there.
They've tabled there, so they know things they could probably never say. But as a punter, I'm a punter. The volunteers never know anything. God bless them. They're so lovely, but they know nothing. They can't tell you anything. And they're so zany with it, but they're just the least informed people you've ever seen, apart from like the convention center staff and the people outside. The people managing the queues know what they're at. But inside it's all like, I don't, and you're like, okay. And then we've seen people get involved and then get out and not really want to say why. We've seen the artists be taken entirely for granted and then treated like cattle being herded when it comes to the selection process, and then shoved in whatever part of the building they feel like putting them in, putting them too close together, putting unsuitable things together. And we know someone who used to organize Artist Alley, and I think it kind of destroyed his life. I think he's a shell of a man now, and he's not doing it anymore. And so I don't know what they're going to do next year, but in response, they're famously unapproachable when it comes to constructive criticism. But there was actually just so many people on Twitter, on TikTok, and on Facebook just going, look, this is my experience. And it became so undeniable that at one point they put out a Google Doc and said, okay, tell us. Okay, then. Tell us what your issue is. And if they read that with any sense of openness to anything, I hope that they'll realize that if nobody cared about this convention, nobody would have said anything. That it's how much we care, that it works and that it grows and that it represents the Irish nerd community. And if they take more people on with different outlooks, change the energy a little bit, they've really got something there. They really have such a resource. But also bring back ArcadeCon. I'm too old. They'd be like bringing your ma to the disco. But they really have a chance to do something great. And I answered as honestly as I could to the questions. And it might be that I'll show up at the door in August and they'll go, no, bitch.
No, March. There's a show in March.
Yeah, I'm not going. I go once. I try to, because I spend about 150 euro to 200 euro in the Artist Alley, so I have to save them. But yeah, I have 20% hope that they'll read it and not just put it down as bullying, which is hilarious considering the platform that they have and how powerful they have. The idea that some 19-year-old artists on TikTok could be bullying such a behemoth is so hilarious. But if they read it and take it in the spirit that it's meant, it could be an amazing event. We've had 10 years of the same formula, and they've got a seriously beautiful location there, and this the staff in the convention center are amazing. So if they can just step their pussies up just 25%, they'd be unstoppable. So I don't know if you just want to come in on that, and I understand why you wouldn't want to. The people who are like, the reason I'm able to blab about it is I'm going as a customer. But I haven't seen half of what's been going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it'd be in poor taste if I say anything, because I I've seen behind the curtain. I've been involved in that show in the past, and I think it'll be remiss of me to start saying things and talking about it because I don't want to be taken out of context. When I was a member of that show, when I hosted panels, when I ran the cosplay competition along with others, um, dedicated people that wanted to be there. It was a lot of fun, and I got to interview some amazing people. I got to meet some amazing people. I got to interview Paul McGann. I got to do a lot of great things, and I'm very thankful for that. I tabled at it as part of Rogue, and to say that there weren't problems, I would be lying. But I don't see myself returning to the show in any capacity, as a punter, as a table person, definitely not as a host. And I wish them all the best. I do hope that they continue and do listen and do take the constructive criticism in the vein that it was given, that they asked for it and people gave it in good faith. And there's no repercussions to anyone that has given constructive criticism. Because I don't think that would stand well to them if they do. I don't think they will. I'd like to think that they won't. I do hope the show listens. I do hope that the showrunners listen to the people that have sent in, taken the time to fill out those forms.
Yeah.
I think it definitely needs to be changed. They need to adapt. They're too big now to even think that they can run it the way it was run. I think there needs to be more of a professional feel.
That's it. They're stretched. They're stretched, and you can see why it would lead to them being short with people. But when you have 10,000 people a day coming in, sometimes you'll get 2,000 emails going, which door am I supposed to go to? Also nerds, God bless them. God bless them. Ask a nerd to find the entrance to somewhere. Oh my God. So like they're not treating their customers like customers. They're treating them like a pain in the arse sometimes. And I've seen it happen with guests as well, where you're like, no, this is a business. This is you're not this cute little fan-run startup. It's an industry. So if you don't have enough people to answer, to do everything, get more people, different people, extra people. So I don't know. We have to, like, it's quite something what they've built, and they have a chance to really just absolutely take it to the next level.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's the only show of its kind, really. You don't, like, MegaCon, which is actually taking place, I think, the weekend after next, which is the newer version, or the other version of I guess the Reed Pop show or something along those lines. They're coming at the end of January. Their time frames are weird with the way they host their shows. But they've got a show on I think it's the 21st and 22nd of January.
Who's in charge of that?
I can't remember. It used to be a particular individual owned it, and then they sold it, and now it's an actual conglomerate. It's a company, an American company that runs shows in the UK, and they have this show here, and they have some guests coming, and they're all right guests. They're good. But we've been to that show before, and it's not as busy in any way, shape, or form. It's not as well attended, as it's in the RDS. It has a massive space, but
it's not as well established as Dublin Comic Con is, and certainly.
So it's replacing MCN.
Yeah, that's it. It's the replacement for MCN.
Yeah. Yeah, and Wayne's right. When we attended it as exhibitors, it was very quiet in comparison to the beast that is Dublin Comic Con. I same as you guys. I hope they take all that constructive criticism on board. Like the point you made earlier, like people wouldn't spend the time giving the feedback they've given if they didn't care. They just say nothing and not go back. Yeah. But like ultimately the community wants it to be a success. for everybody involved. They want the punters to enjoy it. They want the exhibitors to be able to sell their wares and have a good time. Because yeah, it is work, but people, and ultimately, like, people do make money at the show, but you know, you're not gonna keep, there's only so long you can keep doing something just for profit. Eventually it'll wear you down if you're not getting something for your soul out of it as well. I think so yeah, I don't think I'll be back as a punter myself either. I do wish them the best. I've been keeping an eye out on the guest announcements that they've had, and there's a couple that are really great. They announced Mark Shepherd today, who I've met before at a convention many moons ago in the UK, and he was very lovely. That could easily be what we got, 15 seasons of Supernatural, so he might have only been 5 seasons in at that stage. So he was equally, people like Firefly was still fresh in people's minds as much as like the ongoing Supernatural was at the time. Excuse me. Whereas that role, Crowley, is probably the main one he's known for now. But yeah, here's to bigger and better and more inclusive things for Dublin Comic Con in 2024.
Yeah.
I mean, that they are going to be, like, following on from that. Like, I mean, it's no doubt that they're going to be scrutinized. People are going to be very attentive to how they address the issues. And I think the problem is that if they don't address the glaring ones early and get them boxed off and get them looked at, that's going to become something that's going to fester and grow. And it needs to be a case of, they were told cosplay competition and the effect of the approach to cosplayers is a major thing. How the artists and the artist alley are treated, how the process of the artist alley is dealt with, is a major thing. 2 of the biggest mainstays of a convention. Yes, the guests are great. People like to go see the guests, and that's fine. But without those 2 other pieces, you may as well just be a small media show and do sightings and not call it a Comic Con.
That's all, yeah. Just call it a fan con.
Just call it a media convention. So if that's key, I believe, and I think from what they've released and what they've put out there, they are trying to address them. So, you know, let's see what they do. I'm not, like I said, we're not going to be aware of it. People, like, it's going to be a case of, we will see what the reaction is of the public. And
I got some pretty defensive responses, which is a bad start, but I'm hoping it was just a knee-jerk reaction. But the defensiveness is the overriding thing that has been happening in response to any mention of anything that could be happening that isn't happening now. You will get a brick wall. And it's not everyone in the organizers that's like that. It's just the most it's just the dominant vibe that's projected. So we hope. I was just looking at MegaCon. I'm like, oh, that looks like I would require very few spoons to go to that. And you're like, whoa, that's not, you're supposed to go to these things for fun, but you do kind of just bolster yourself up a little bit because you don't know what you're walking into. But
well, no, I think in this day and age, following what everyone has been through, going to a convention is a lot on people's psyche, a lot on their mental health. To be involved in the
Artist Alley was a sweatbox this year. And oh god, I had to do a drive-by 4 times to get near Jekyll Draws. There were so many people at their stall. That's a great thing, but I would have been in the way if I waited. I would have been in the way of 3 other stalls, so I just had to keep going, keep moving,
keep doing laps.
But so fingers crossed. The cosplayers, best thing. Shout out to the COD players too. Maybe that's an accidental slip there, but yeah. Oh, watching my kid watching fucking, I don't remember what they were playing, Rocket League and Valorant on those big screens. Like, he
yeah.
couldn't believe it. I'm like, oh.
Blue his tiny little mind.
Yeah, Blue's tiny little mind. But yeah, so hopefully, fingers crossed for 2024 onwards and upwards. I'm making some lifestyle changes. I have turned my phone into black and white display only, but I had to turn that off to make it less dopamine-y. Stop rewarding me quite so much. But I had to turn it off because I was watching
I think I've gone to
Canada's
the
Drag Race.
I think I've gone to the other end of the spectrum. I turned my phone into a pad from Star Trek.
Wayne and his fancy foldable phone.
Wayne his fancy phone. But it's your
that
job
that he dropped in the toilet not a week.
Yeah. I know. I'd had it 4 days, and we were in Cork. We were at the Cork
Jill,
Comic
he has
Expo.
to test it. Jesus.
Yeah. Here's the thing: I did find something out about it, and I remember that I freaked out. I only had it like 4 days.
Oh God!
We were down in Kevin Ellen's, and we were going to the Cork. We were literally going to the morning of the Cork Expo, and I was in the toilet, and I was doing it, and it was tucked. It was in my hoodie pocket, and I pulled up my pants, tied up my belt, and all of a sudden I just saw this in slow motion.
No.
Like the end of it was 2001. It was like the start of 2001.
Had you at least flushed first? I had flushed. And I was literally turning to wash my hands as it flipped through the air. I was like, and it just went down into the toilet, fully submerged, right? And I just straight away grabbed it, pulled it out, and just started to dry it off.
Right.
Freaked out. Kev heard me. All he hears, Kev was like, "Are you all right in there? Are you all right there? Like, do you need more toilet paper or something?" And I was like, I just dropped my phone down the toilet, and I'd spent the night before going, "Ooh, look at my phone!
Look at my phone!
Look at my phone!" And then we got in the car, and there was me furiously checking the phone to make sure everything was fine. And then I googled how waterproof this thing is, and it turns out it's unbelievably waterproof. So something up to it can last up to an hour underwater before it goes.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Okay.
So
you have to. You're testing it, so consider it tested.
I have never dropped a phone in water until that point. I've never dropped a phone into a toilet bowl, a sink, a bath, anything. It was the first time that's ever happened to me, and literally my sphincter went full on clench.
I had never done it before, and it was a constant kind of fear because I'm a hooer for putting my phone in the back pocket of my jeans.
Yeah.
And had kind of imagined like, oh Jesus, can you imagine if I you go into the loo and you take the phone out?
Yeah.
Just imagine if I dropped it in. I did it in Japan.
Into the probably pre-warmed toilet that sings you a little song.
Amazing toilets. Although it was in a public toilet in a multi-story crazy grocery / shite shop in, where was it? Kyoto. It was a shop that had housewares and food and cosmetics and everything Pokemon and Sanrio.
I hate that. I hate all that.
I wasn't crazy on Pokemon until I went to Japan and I came home a Gengar fan.
Stunned that the goth was drawn to Gengar. Stunned.
Shocking.
So shocked.
Yeah. Absolutely shocked.
But yeah, it does it does kind of frighten the bejesus out of you. Thankfully, my phone not as fancy as yours, not as new as yours. It was fine, but because your fucking life is on your phone now. You're just
yeah.
But yeah.
What's he like in person, Jill? Gengar? Does he sound?
He's grand, yeah. Do you know it was actually mad sound? Toad was mad sound.
Toad was sound. Fuck Toad. I'm trying to live my life, and he's like,
he is a little dickhead on the Mario Kart circuits, though.
Oh man, amazing.
Sorry, I want to see if I can get this. One second. Talk amongst yourselves.
She's up to something, lads.
Jill, I don't know if we're going to get this in before she comes back. Depends on how far into that palatial mansion that is Roslyn Manors that she has to go find. But did you watch Doctor Who at Christmas?
I didn't. I did not. I have been off the Doctor Who train for a while. Yeah, I still have Jodie Whittaker's last season to watch, and
Scandalo.
I know, and
Oh,
I
wow.
I do really enjoy the actor who plays the new Doctor,
Suti Gatwa.
Ncuti Gatwa. He is all kinds of wonderful in Sex Education, and he's another Scot.
Yeah, we love Neil Scott for ourselves.
We love it. Oh, he's got a beautiful accent as well. I saw a
He
clip
is
of him recently
walking
talking.
charisma.
Oh, I saw a clip of him talking on Graham Norton or something recently, popped up on my Facebook, and I was like, because he has a much more pronounced English accent in Sex Education, and his natural accent is lovely. But he is walking charisma. That is a good way to describe him. So you obviously watched Doctor Who.
I did.
Oh,
I
yeah.
did. I
You've got
watched
to talk about it.
the 60th anniversary stuff I watched, and 2 out of the 3 were great. I actually didn't like the one with Neil Patrick Harris at all.
Oh.
I didn't like the story. Whatever about the regeneration thing, that was fine. Whatever, there was something different. Russell T Davies cannot give David Tennant a sad ending. He just doesn't. He hasn't got it in him to punish David Tennant as a Doctor for whatever reason. I don't know.
What about I don't want to go?
Yeah, but he never goes. He always comes back.
He's the longest goodbye.
It is
the longest goodbye.
And now we never had. So I'm not going to see. I don't know whether I should spoil this for you because you haven't seen it. But by the time you get to where it's at, because you still have to watch all of Jodie, which you should, by the way.
And is she going to watch it in order? Are you going to watch it in order, you mad spoon?
I will. No, I Jodie, I watched maybe oh God, it's so long ago since I watched it. Like, I really enjoyed her Doctor, and I just kind of fell off it a little bit. And it's one of those things that I keep saying, oh, I must get back to it. But because her run got rave reviews.
It got some of it got torn and some of it got
not from the internet boys. The internet boys were mad.
No, from anybody whose opinion that I care about, they loved her.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
I really liked her.
Yeah. I really loved her as an actor before she got the job. Of course. So I was like, yeah, go get it.
Yeah.
I love Niall Northerner for me stuff.
I know, and she does. She is fantastic in the role, and she brings something very different and very new to it.
Why was her run so short, do you think?
Her run wasn't that short. She did it over about 4 years, 4 or 5, about 4 years, which is the average.
Suppose
but
the BBC amount of shows, okay.
The way they approached it was they did it a bit different. They gave her specials, they gave her mini series, so might have seemed a bit shorter, but there's actually quite a chunk of her there. Like her whole, she had a whole season that was just one big storyline. Like, it was literally straight through. The Flux was just one big storyline, and it looked fantastic, played really well, and there was some really, really interesting plays. It was just really well done. I think it's going to be like the 6th Doctor, where retrospectively, when people look back on that run, it's going to be looked upon much kinder than it is. The problem, some people had problems with Chibnall, the showrunner.
Yeah.
And I will always argue the fact that people, and they always say, oh, Russell T Davies did it best. I says, I'm sorry. Russell T Davies seems to be looked at through rosy colored glasses when it comes to Doctor Who, because he brought back the same villain 4 times for season finales in his run. He didn't give us anything new after the 4 years that he was there. We got some new, the great innovative stuff that we got during RTD's run. And this is maybe controversial for people to hear if they're Doctor Who fans. But a lot of the really, really high-end stuff that we got during RTD's run was from Stephen Moffat, who then took over the show afterwards. Blink, the Weeping Angels, that's Moffat. He came up with them. The only villains that RTD could give us constantly were the fucking Daleks and the fucking Cybermen. Every season finale, it was the Daleks and the Cybermen, without fail. And his finales always start off very, very serious, and then devolve into a comedy scenario. There's always it goes from being. It always feels really, really climactic, and then it's just like, with a carry-on Doctor type situation. And the third 60th special that we got was no different than that. I felt it ended up that way as well. The first two episodes that we got were great. Loved them. Really good. The second one in particular was so out there, so wacky, that I couldn't believe that this was something that RTD came up with. amazing visuals in it, some really weird things happening, like very much out of nowhere kind of weirdness that was cool. And then Maxwell agrees with me. And then you get the third one, and it's like it's just run of the mill rehashing of old stories that he's already done with a villain that he really didn't understand, because Neil Patrick Harris's Toymaker is meant to be a cold, calculating individual, and all he did was he turned him into a facsimile of John Sims' Master. He basically took John Sims' Master and reskinned him into Neil Patrick Harris, and that's what we got. And I don't like Neil Patrick Harris as an actor. I just don't like him. So that could have tarred my opinion, but I found that he was just, if you look at clips of John Sims' Master, with his big Saxon ending where he ages David Tennant hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years.
What's that about John Sims' big sack?
I'd well believe it. But there was too many elements that were very familiar in the finale, and I think overall, I think BBC dropped the ball on the 60th anniversary anyway. Like for the 50th, on the 50th anniversary, it was a worldwide celebration. Like
remember that, yeah, it was in cinemas and everything. You guys were freaking out.
Yeah, massive situation.
And everything going on.
Yeah, I cosplayed for fuck's sake. I shaved off my beard.
Did you shaved off your beard? That's right.
That was the last time. And
I remember listening to the
never
podcast
again.
Never again. Yeah, and like I shaved it off and everything, and I cosplayed as the 10th Doctor, my first time ever cosplaying. And I think the 60th, whatever it was, whether it was
a
budget,
nice coat, Wayne.
It's still have it. It's hanging right over there. Thanks to Arcade Con for that one. But yeah, so like the 60th anniversary, I felt it was little to no fanfare about it. There was 3 episodes with a returning Doctor and a returning companion. There was a couple of extra companions, multi-companions from previous eras that were there. But there wasn't a multi-Doctor element to it, which if you look back through a lot of the anniversary stuff, even in the old era, it was all multi-Doctor stories. So we didn't get a multi-Doctor story, which people were surprised by and probably let down by as well.
Right.
Expecting at least Matt Smith to turn up. But nope. No, just Tennant all the way through, and then we got Sooty at the end. Which again, as soon as he arrives on screen, you're kind of like, and you can't take your eyes off him.
Yeah, he's really striking looking. Like he's and I love stylistically, I love the way they're going with him. But I'm talking as someone who's gonna have to see Doctor Who promotional materials. I'm not gonna watch it. But I used to listen to every Pubcast thing on Doctor Who because I'm like, well, I'm not watching it, but these nerds love it. And I love hearing people talking about the shit they love. I'll never get tired of it.
Yeah.
Oh, guys.
Guess
what?
So what did you run off to find? What did you run off to find before we talked about it?
It was a funny message about my tiny, cute daughter and the absolute barrage of gamer abuse she yelled at another child at a party. It was very funny, but I realized I'm using my phone as a camera, so it's not gonna happen. And I thought I'd be able to look it up on my twin phone, but no. But anyway, it was very funny.
But you fucking drug dealer, twin phone.
Guess what? I have guess what crime I committed.
Oh, go on.
In front of like board game nerds, that kind of. The kind of person goes to a dinner party with 6 games. At that table, he was telling me, yeah, bro, I know. So I'm at this table, and this person that I haven't seen since college was talking about the Wheel of Time. I'm like, yeah, nodding along, yeah. Wheel of Time, yeah. I know all about the Wheel of Time. I know all you fuckers. So I haven't read it, but I know about the Wheel of Time. Yeah. Why are you looking for another book? Isn't he dead? What did she confuse, Wayne?
No, you got it right. He is dead. Robert
he
Jordan is dead.
Okay, yes, and they're continuing them. But who did I think they were talking about? I got The Wheel of Time and Discworld mixed up because they're both books that y'all have all read that I have not. And it took me a minute to realize what was happening. And I'm like,
It's fair.
Oh, this is the wrong. No, not at that table.
They're both dead, though.
They are both.
Yeah, they're both dead. I mean, Brandon Sanderson finished off the Wheel of Time series, and he's not going to write anymore, I don't think.
No.
He's too busy being Brandon Sanderson now. He's too busy being his own master. And
If you were
master
called
of-
Brandon Sanderson, you'd probably make something of it as well. You probably, yeah.
Oh no,
pretty
he's
good.
doing well for himself. Don't you worry. He's the master of universe creation, and like it's real funny. I saw somebody on TikTok giving out about like reading the Brandon Sanderson. Like, I'm reading a Brandon Sanderson book for the first time, and I'm meant to understand what these people are saying. I'm about 10 chapters in. I have no idea. Is there more before this? Isn't this the first one? Like, he's reading the first Mistborn book, and it's like, it's like, and then people are like, no, you have to read 20 chapters, and then you'll understand what they're saying.
Oh,
Like,
is it Ulysses style?
It's just that
Its
level of
own
his
thing.
Yeah, it's very his writing. He builds these universes that is just.
Oh, there's just so much lore that you're gonna.
It's not even lore. So it's like, how to say. So do you remember when Firefly came out? Now they had their own way of saying certain things, like
Yeah.
Goram.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
and they
yeah.
were integrating Chinese and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
Brandon Sanderson books, they would have words and phrases and things that they would say that would be substitutes for other things. Or
That's Frelin crazy, man.
yeah, like
Mhm.
exactly. Like most big people that write, like big writers would kind of substitute, make their own kind of universe, would substitute with things. But there's also lore and ideas that like they reference things in
Right.
the books that you've not read about yet. But these
They do know it. Okay, so he's really,
yeah.
he's really picking up the conversation as it's going, and
Yeah,
you're just gonna
so
have to get there.
You're just gonna have to get there. You're gonna have to catch up. It's he doesn't lead you by the hand.
No,
He just
Right.
you're dropped into the universe. You just got to find your way by following this story. So and that's why he's lauded as one of the best universe builders and writers of that type of stuff, because he doesn't treat his audience like children. He doesn't
Okay.
treat
Hey,
his
Wayne, you've had conversations with me. Do you think I'd be able to write like that?
yeah.
As someone who has had people write underneath statuses that I've written, I don't know what the fuck this means.
Yeah.
Frequently. Maybe I'm just a wordsmith.
That's it. You just
Maybe
need
the
to
fact
write.
that nobody can read my Westlife comment
That's it. Yeah.
is because
Well-
I'm too clever.
You just need to find your niche audience, Kim. That's what it is. And if you write those statuses longer and put those statuses together and
Yeah.
then bind them,
Yeah.
that will be your volume of status
Take out
books.
some of my linking words. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Kimberly
Okay.
Sanderson.
All right.
Kimberly Sanderson.
This is the year. This is the year.
Yeah.
2024 is your year, girl.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to playing D&D this year.
Yeah. Yeah. Big time.
Yes.
It's going to be
Um,
fun.
Yeah.
John
I
Monson's
have
bells on.
it's January and everybody should probably I think it's state mandated that we all have to get really ashamed of ourselves. But I have had weight gain over the last 3 months that I'm getting nothing but applause for. So I don't know how I'm going. I'll make small lifestyle changes, but there's no heavy motivation happening for that. So especially when I buy my clothes this size anyway, I really got a long way to go before it becomes a problem.
You'd be grand. Yeah. Fuck that noise. We just
Indeed.
have to enjoy ourselves. In the world that we're living in, we just have to look after ourselves, look after each other, and enjoy ourselves and be smiling. That's all you got to do. Fuck everything
Absolutely.
else. you know?
Don't tell me
Yeah.
to fucking smile.
Well, no.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's just I unapologetically doing things you enjoy, and I think
Oh yeah.
I think we're pretty good at that.
Yeah.
I don't think we left that behind after COVID. I think we learned during COVID that we need to give ourselves moments of joy. And we
Yeah.
got addicted to those moments of joy that we allowed ourselves to have in order to counterbalance the fucking world that is on fire.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
the world is still on fire, but been asked now to actually go out and exist in it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we need those moments of joy to
Yeah.
keep us going in this world on fire.
Very
So I
much
make
so.
Yeah.
no apologies for getting extra weirder in 2024. Extra more
Good.
enjoy in the shit that I'm involved in and shit that I invest in. So on Twitter, I think it was like New Year's Day or New Year's Eve, I saw a Twitter feed, that a Twitter trend that I rarely get involved in Twitter trends, but this one in particular got me. Do you know how they got me? Because it
How?
was Tolkien related.
No, of
It,
course it was.
it said in a GIF from Tolkien from Lord of the Rings, describe how you're going to enter into 2024. And I just retweeted and put the GIF of Aragorn saying, "You will suffer me." Because that's my approach to 2024. It's gonna happen. Like, you may not want it, but you're
Amazing.
gonna suffer me. My fucks have been left very far behind at this stage.
Oh, Wayne, I'll
I
suffer you. We'll suffer you another year.
I have found since joining the 40 Club last month, I have even fewer fucks. And I've kind of tossed the last few that I had out the fucking window. I'm being vocally pissed off when I need to be, and not tolerating phobias and bullshit, and finding the fun and the pockets of joy that we have for ourselves and with people we love, like yourselves and my lovely other half. Like, I'm very excited. I was telling, I think I sent you the link, Wayne. If any of the listeners are thinking of visiting London this year, the wonderful Sir Ian McKellen is doing a 12-week run of Player Kings, which is Shakespeare's Henry IV, Part 1 and 2. It's a 4-hour show,
Holy
lads.
shit.
But it's Sir Ian McKellen on the stage. So yes, I paid stupid amounts of money for theatre tickets in London, but I'm going to see Ian McKellen. We're heading over for a one-day festival out in Brixton, and I'm going to see Erica Badu on stage.
Oh my God.
During that, a host of other soul and R&B. We went 2 years ago, and it was fantastic. But yeah, Erica is headlining this year, and we were like, well, we do on the Saturday, and we happened across Ian McKellen's play, so I'd say that'll be interesting and fun. And London's always great.
Yeah. I myself have I'm heading to Prague
very nice.
Oh, amazing.
with the
Beer for
family.
breakfast and pork knuckle for lunch. Oh, fuck yeah.
Why did that sound so fucking dirty?
You haven't seen me eating pork knuckle. That's why. Holy shit. The food and drink in that city, I can taste it now. And I was there in 2005. Oh my God.
Wow.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's whopper. And that fucking Gothic architecture. I'm sorry, Dublin. I don't want to shame you or nothing. You're getting there in your own time. Brazzy's following all the infrastructure plans. These are getting there. But I'll tell you something. Prague was taken over by this lad, then the Nazis, then the Russians, then the Nazis, then the fucking... It was taken over about 1900 times. And they have a working bus, rail, and underground. What is happening? What's happening? What's our excuse? Anyway, enjoy. I will be very fucking jealous. Order meats. Take pictures, send me the meats. I need to see the meats.
Show me the meats. I need to see the baby meats.
Dva pivo.
Oh.
Dirty big bud for Enjoy, Wayne. It's gonna be lovely. Although going there with
the fam.
With the fam.
Yeah.
Does your daughter like architecture?
As much as the next 6-year-old.
Probably.
Listen, if it looks spooky, she'll like it.
Yeah.
Yes, that is true. Actually,
and it's pretty
castle,
spooky.
She's into the spooky shit. She's a bubblegum goth.
She can fulfill her vampire princess fantasy while she's there.
Mine is starting listening to baby metal, so it's only a matter of time. Great.
She already loves The Cure, so
she does.
She knows her stuff.
Savage.
Yeah, I'm going to I'm finally going to Liverpool.
Oh,
Finally,
He's bringing me, but lads, you know the way I haven't seen Get Back. I haven't seen Yesterday. Wayne knows this. I am too precious about certain things. I don't want to know anything else.
I know.
I want them. They're what they did. I don't want to hear from anyone else. I have the fear of God, the thing that stops you sitting up the front in mass. I have the fear of God about the city of Liverpool. As someone who has supported Liverpool but never gone out with football supporters, I've never gone out with someone who's interested in soccer until Mark in the early 2000s, middle 2000s. I don't know.
early 2000s.
Yeah, thanks, bro. So until then, I'd never had a soccer watching other half, and my father's not interested in whatever. So I never been to matches in England. If anyone doesn't know, Irish people tend to follow English football clubs because a lot of Irish players would have to go there to make enough money to live because the Irish soccer league is quite small. I support Liverpool, but in the groups of friends I was in, there was no interest in talking about that, so I just didn't. And then I started going out with someone who not only followed football, but followed the same team as me. And so I was actually able to do that. And then I ended up marrying.
Can you imagine all the pent up, the pent up Liverpudlian bollocks that you just...
I can't. Wayne, what's going to happen to me when I go downstairs in the cavern? There's going to be... Is that
a euphemism for something?
Well, there's going to be a gastric accident. It's not going to be good. Like between the Beatles and Liverpool FC. But he knows me. So it's our anniversary trip. So he didn't book a match because I'm not ready for that. He booked a stadium tour when the place is like empty. So that'll be nice. The funny thing is, he's a Man United supporter, and the weekend we're over, they're playing Man United either the next day or that evening. So I'm going to be possibly in a pub in Liverpool watching them play Man United with him beside me. It's kind of too much. It's kind of like I would like to put a bubble on and go. I have, when a gig gets announced, if it's a band I like a bit, if it's a band I like quite a lot, I will wait 3 days because I want the people that like them the most to get the tickets first. And I think it's a shitting yourselfocracy when it comes to fandoms. I want the most devoted people to be prioritized. And me, with my imposter syndrome and my I follow the football, but I didn't have Sky Sports and I had small babies, and I'm totally fucking lost when it comes to what's going on these days. For me to be in a pub in Liverpool with those people who would like sell their grannies for a result against Man United, it's going to be interesting for me to like cosplay in there. But you gotta face your fears, bro. Face your fears. You got to go down to the cavern and have a mini cardiac episode, and then we're gonna just move on from there. I went to see Paul McCartney, and he came out, and he opened with Jet, and I started laughing, and I said, "Brozzy, he thinks this is his best song." I said, "Look at this cunt." I says, "He thinks this is the one." He's like, "I've got it. I've got the song. I'm gonna play Jet. These bitches love Jet." So he starts playing Jet. Woo, woo, and I'm just laughing, and it's so funny. And he goes seamlessly, no break, from Jet to All My Lovin'. And he just cries out, "Close your eyes." And I start bawling. And I'm like, "See what you get, bitch? See, he owns you. He owns you. That's a fucking Beatle. And you thought you could take the piss out of him? Oh my God." But like full on. Are your parents coming to pick you up? Like, yeah, and I'm like, okay, Mac, okay, fucking okay, all right. So yeah, so it's gonna be considering it's about 20 miles from here, it's fucking disgraceful that I'm going there, considering that it's mostly Irish people anyway.
Yeah.
That gonna be going over there 30 years too late maybe. But I'm looking forward to it.
So Kim, we'll end it on this. It's just a little bit of a question I have for you. So it's something I saw. Like, we all know how much I hate AI, but I saw this thing, particularly AI art. I saw this thing. Somebody put in, draw the Beatles having a tea party as they would be now.
I saw
Right?
it.
Okay. And
there were
there was
five.
5, and there was 2 Pauls.
Two
right?
Pauls, two different
2
era Pauls.
Two
Yeah,
different
yeah.
era
I'm
Pauls
glad you
because
spotted that. Yeah.
yeah, because of the whole theory and the conspiracy theory
Paul is
that
dead.
Paul McCartney
Paul
is
is dead,
dead
yeah.
and he was replaced by somebody else.
Yeah.
A singing,
So what-
songwriting actor.
So hang on. Paul got in there twice, but the original 5th Beatle was nowhere to be seen.
Poor
Yeah.
Pete. Look.
Poor
It's too
Pete,
soon.
yeah.
Too soon to talk about Pete. We have a the best thing is, Wayne, you looked at that picture and went, "Oh, there's 2 Pauls." But when that was originally tweeted, someone went, "I asked for a picture of the Beatles in a garden. There's 5, but I can't work out. They're all the Beatles." Like, it was such a hodgepodge. I'm glad. Like, I looked at it and went, "Oh, they put in Paul twice. They put in 2 eras of Paul." Yeah, well, I should be less hard on Paul McCartney, considering that I drag you guys down to my mull of Kintyre where there's no electricity and no heating, and want you to do some of your best artistic work, so I should empathize a little bit more.
Look, whenever we go down to your place, Kim, the moon is always right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we've got to do that again.
Yes.
Guys, this is so fun. We're genuine friends, so we could talk forever.
Yes. Good, but it's late, and I have work tomorrow, as we all do.
As we all do.
As we all do. But folks, this has been the first Pubcast of 2024. We'll be back very soon with Sourcing and Shenanigans. Keep an eye out on our YouTube channel and Spotify and anywhere you get your podcasts. Don't forget to give us a like and a subscribe.
Slap that subscribe
This
button.
is what happens when I'm on a MacBook doing this, right? They get the bubbles. I wonder if this works.
Oh, that's so weird.
Did that work? There we go.
Oh, yeah, now it is.
Oh, yeah. MacBooks have this thing
Oh,
built
it's
in.
magic, Alice.
Yeah, lovely. But yeah, so do check us out wherever you find your podcasts and share whatever. Do check out Social Shenanigans for our giveaways. There's still time to enter into our latest giveaway from our sponsors, Dublin City Comics, Hasbro, Pulse. So do check them out over on our YouTube channel. Until the next time, folks, I've been Wayne.
I've been Kim.
I've been Jill.
Stay safe, look after yourselves, take it handy.
Bye.
Bye.